Good morning, Year 8. I hope you're well and having a lovely day. Please could you write the date and title, Scrooge Reforms. For your do now, I would like you to answer the following question. Why do you think Dickens called his book A Christmas Carol? Pause the video for 5 minutes to complete these tasks. For this lesson, you will need a pen, pencil and highlighter, your exercise book, the PDF copy of Scrooge Reforms, and the PDF matchup activity. Please take a moment to ensure you have everything you need for today's lesson. Do now review. Why was this book called A Christmas Carol? You may have referred to, perhaps it's called A Christmas Carol because of reference to staves, because a carol is universally heard by lots of different people regardless of class, or maybe because Dickens expected the story to be repeated and shared to bring people together, especially at Christmas time. If you didn't get anything, please do copy down what's on the slide. Okay, so today we're going to focus on Scrooge's reformation, so that his change of character. What I would like to do is read the attached extract, then respond to the following question. How is Scrooge presented? I would like you to use evidence to support your ideas. Pause the video for 15 minutes to complete the task. Okay, so how is he described in the extract? We're going to look at a few quotes and some potential analysis. Hello, growled Scrooge, in his accustomed voice, as near as he could feign it. What do you mean by coming here at this time of day? The word feign suggests that he is mocking his former self, having realized his mistakes. So feign is when you pretend to do something. This suggests he can reflect on the way he has treated people in the past, which is something he would not have considered at the start of the novel. A Merry Christmas, Bob, said Scrooge, with an earnestness that could not be mistaken, as he clapped him on the back. A merrier Christmas, Bob, my good fellow, than I have given you for many a year. I'll raise your salary and endeavour to assist your struggling family, and we will discuss your affairs this very afternoon over a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop, Bob. Earnestness suggests he is genuine. This is further supported by his excited tone when speaking to Bob about how he wants to support him and his family. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. The repetition of good suggests that he is transformed from the miserable man we saw at the start of the novella. It suggests he is opened up and no longer avoids human interaction. His own heart laughed. This demonstrates that Scrooge is capable of great emotion despite his former behaviour. So if you didn't get what's on the slide, please could you pause the video for a moment and jot down at least one of these points. So, A Christmas Carol narrative structure. A Christmas Carol follows a cyclical narrative. Task. Write down the following definition. A cyclical narrative is when the conditions at the end are in some way the same as they are at the beginning. Scrooge becomes a better man through his experiences in the novella. He returns to the same place and circumstances, but with a much better outlook. So what does this look like? 1. Establish the protagonist, the main character. 2. Something isn't quite right and needs to change. 3. Something happens to encourage action. 4. A search for something that is missing. 5. Finding answers. 6. The protagonist must confront an issue. 7. They return to their world. 8. They make a change. Please could you write this down in your books. Okay, for your next task, you will need the PDF worksheet attached. For those of you who have been reading the text in full, you can go ahead and complete the task. If you need to know more about the plot, please watch the summary linked in class charts. Task. Using the cyclical narrative, match-up sheet, match the events to the correct parts of the story. Pause the video for 6 minutes to do that now. So let's go through the answers together. Establish a protagonist. We're introduced to a miserable character called Scrooge. Something isn't quite right and needs to change. Scrooge treats everybody he meets with resentment. Something happens to encourage action. He is visited by the ghost of his old friend and business partner, Marley. A search for something that is missing. The ghost of Christmas past visits Scrooge and shows him scenes from his past. Finding answers. The ghost of Christmas present takes Scrooge to see the Cratchits. The protagonist must confront an issue. The ghost of Christmas yet to come shows Scrooge his own grave. They return to their world. The ghost leaves him and he asks a stranger what day it is and finds it's Christmas Day and starts to skip through the streets. They make a change. He becomes a good man and shares a mutual respect and love with his fellow man. So make sure you've matched them up correctly. And that brings us to the end of today's lesson. Thank you very much for your hard work, and I will see you next time.